We have some pretty great components being created on the second floor of the factory in the form of the advanced steel production line, but in order to move on to the next phase, we need to upgrade our space elevator progress. In the Fix-It Hub terminal, you can see that we've made it pretty much all the way through Tier 4, although we haven't done hypertubes yet. I'll save that for a future video. But in order to get to Tier 5 and 6, we need to upgrade our space elevator to Phase 2. In order to do that, we need to supply the space elevator with 3 components: 500 smart plating, 500 versatile framework, and 100 automated wiring. Now these are pretty advanced materials, but they don't have any other purpose right now that I can see besides supplying the space elevator with the things, and they're pretty easy to make. We just need to use the existing components that we are already creating and then throw them into some assemblers. We're going to need to then package them in the space elevator and then shoot them off to the space elevator gods for them to use or research. I don't know what goes on up there. But on the space elevator, we can either load them in manually or we can supply them via conveyor belt, which I think is going to be the better way to go because it's going to take a long time to make 500 of each of those first 2 things and then the 100 automated wiring. Since the only purpose that those components serve thus far is to fuel the space elevator, I'm actually going to create a new wing of my factory, which is going to extend to where I'm standing now over towards the space elevator. So this is going to be dedicated to the creation of those 3 components. Now, I have some rocks here that I was hoping that I would be able to take care of, but I still haven't gotten any progress for dynamite, explosives, anything for clearing out land. So we're just going to have to kind of move around everything and see if we can create enough space for the assemblers that we're going to need. This is the new shop floor for the expansion area, and this isn't pretty. None of this is going to be pretty because it's going to be just a proof of concept. I'll go back later and try and beautify everything, and I may find out later that what we're creating here is going to be useful for future components. So I may have to end up relocating all of this onto the first, second, and potentially third floor of our main factory. But for now, we need to start off with the 3 assemblers, 1 for each of the components. Now, the fact that this is on this side of the building is extremely inconvenient because we're going to have to wire the cable all the way from the other side to here. Now, for the power, shouldn't be a problem because I have this nice little network set up already. But we'll start off with our first thing, the smart plating, which I'm going to do on the left side here. That's going to be the reinforced plates and the rotors. So I remember that the reinforced plates are down right beneath me, I believe. And here are a lot of them, and I would like to be able to split this off a little bit better because right now we have some of them going in towards making the modular frames, some of them being stored here just for me to grab when I need them, and this is just for backup. So I'm going to grab from this side here, which is going to kind of split everything into thirds, and that's really not ideal, but I don't want to mess up the production that we have already. And the fact that we are creating something that is going to be limiting our production of the modular frames over in that final assembler over there means that everything is going to slow down significantly. So again, this is going to be very, very ugly. But we're going to get the conveyor belt over here, so we'll finally be throwing the first component in. And then the second one is the rotors, which are going to be produced, I think, right next door. What are you making over here? Rotors, yes, okay. Rotors over here, which are actually being already supplied to the second floor. So we need to, again, split this off. Now, I'm really happy that I have all of these splitters ready to go for just this scenario. But, again, it means that we're going to be slowing down production of everything behind. So I'm feeling like an overdrive or overclocking video is going to come next in order to bring everything back up to a good production speed. So let's go ahead and throw this all the way over towards the end if we can make it work somehow. Ooh, this is a labyrinth, isn't it? That looks pretty clear. So let's see if we can get some elevation there. Oh, you're not even going to let me make it higher? Oh, perfect. We found a gap. There we go. Okay. Let's wire you in. And I think we have our first 2 components going, so I'm going to connect this up to the power. Have this guy here. It's going to need to split off again. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so first one done. We have the reinforced iron plates there. We're making the smart plating, and it's just waiting on a rotor from the other side. Next, we're going to set up the versatile framework production, which is going to require the modular frames and the steel beams. You can see right here the modular frame production. We've already got a pretty solid amount here, but instead of just pulling right from this storage container, I'm going to go off of this splitter so that we have this container just to enable us to have a stock in case we need to do a project and just make something manually. So I'm going to use the conveyor belt splitter here so that we can just grab half of it. I have no idea why that happened. Creating things with conveyor belts here can be a little bit annoying. You gotta kind of tease the system when you do certain things because it doesn't always want to cooperate. So I'm going to be able to probably do this pretty easily just by raising up this conveyor belt, going over the existing ones, and heading into our next assembler. So the modular frames are all set up. The next thing we need is the steel beams. So those are going to be produced on the second floor of the steel production. This is the only way that I have to get up to the second floor right now, but it is pretty good. It works pretty well. So let's head back a little bit for the steel beams, which I believe should be coming out of... That's a constructor. This is an assembler. So, okay, I was wrong. But they're still back here. They're fine. Conveyor belt, we're going to pull off the splitter again. This is kind of exactly where we need it to be. And again, this is all going to be extremely ugly, but bear with me, I'll do all the beautifying later. What is happening? Why are they coming out at an angle like this? Can never really understand. But conveyor belt all set up. That one, conveyor belt too steep. Ah, how dare you. Alright, let's go all the way back here. And that should be a nice gentle slope for you, right? There you go. Okay, so the next thing all set up, modular frames are coming in that way. We should have the steel beams coming in this way. There's one right now. And let's go ahead and check this out to make sure it's going to be producing the versatile framework. It is on. Now it's on. And we are just waiting for some steel beams, and then we should be good to go on this one. The final two components that we need to combine are the cables and the stators. The stators aren't going to be much of an issue because they're being produced on the second floor of the factory and we can just move conveyor belt from there over to the new wing. But the cables are being produced on the other side of the factory, so we're going to need a long conveyor belt for this one. I'm going to be... Whoa, wrong thing. I'm going to be destroying this conveyor belt and attaching a new splitter just so that we do the same thing that we had before and not ruin our existing production. You can see everything is a little bit goofy here because we're not able to produce on a grid system since we're outside and we know those foundations to work with. We're going to get this conveyor belt all set up, kind of pointing in the same direction as the concrete, which is going into that second floor. Grab a conveyor lift here, point this kind of in the general direction of what we need. Again, the grid system is not really what we want it to be right now. We're going to be attaching some conveyor poles because we're going to need to get it over all of this equipment here, and this looks about right for the best clearance. Let's attach you there, make sure you're going the correct direction. Again, probably one more conveyor pole just to clear everything here, and then we're going to have to come back down to ground level. So here we go. And then lastly, into... Oh no! I grabbed so many steel plates, I thought that would have been enough. But with all these conveyor belts, it can get a little bit ridiculous. But you can see just how beneficial it is to have that extra storage container. So this one here is for backups in case the machinery down there gets overloaded. This doesn't prevent the production of everything behind it. While this one, which is split off, is just for me stealing from. But unfortunately, every time I steal from it, it creates a slowdown, because it then has to keep on splitting. So we now have the cables going in that way, and the other thing that we need is the stators, which I guess I can use this to head up there, but it's going to be like going up a down escalator since it's moving against me. Luckily I'm way faster, and that might not be the case in the future when we have to add some more advanced conveyor belt. That's a nice way for me to get around. So now we need to find the stators, which I believe are being produced here. Yes, they are. So we've got a nice splitter coming off right here. Let's lift it over everything. Have them coming through here. And I should be able to just send this to the ground on this level without needing another conveyor pole. There we go. Over to this side. And that is looking like it's going to be the end of what we need here. Too steep. Oh, darn. Alright, let me fix that. We could just add, I guess, an elevator, which is now heading down. And that should be good. Okay, so lastly, we have our automated wiring being produced, just waiting on the stators, which we know are going to come in the other side. Looks like power is good, we just need the inputs. And finally, we're going to need to conveyor all of these things into the space elevator, which this one's going to want to be on the far side. This one kind of in the middle will be fine. And then lastly, we can just send this one around the other side of the rock. It's going to be nice to blow up all these rocks. Oh no, I'm broke again. Okay, let's finish this up. Conveyor belt over... Oh no, I didn't realize that this thing had a collision box there, so we're going to have to go around it in line with our other conveyor belts, which I can attach conveyor belts to conveyor belts. That doesn't seem like it should work, but that is fine for now. And heading over to the other side here, into there, and we're good. And it looks like some things are already coming this way. Versatile frameworks, I think. You can see 6 already, so those are coming in pretty quickly. And this, oh gosh, this is such a mess. So here's some of our automated wiring, just one of them there. It's nice to see that the cables are coming in that direction. More automated wiring over there. Now, see how slow this is. Steel beams are limiting here. I don't know what's being limited there. And this one is... Whoa, this is just super slow. 2 parts per minute. But it looks like our inputs are coming in just fine. So these are obviously being produced pretty slowly. We've erected the first 2, and they've been going for a little bit. The last one's actually doing a pretty good job of creating what we need. So it's going to be quite some time before all of these things are finally ready to be packaged and sent up to the space elevator. I can't even guess how long it took me to accumulate all of these items, but we're finally done, and we even have a little bit of a backup, so hopefully these will be useful in the future, and I guarantee they will be. And when that time comes, we'll have plenty to make whatever we need to out of automated wiring, versatile framework, and smart plating, so maybe some sort of giant killer robot. Fingers crossed, right? So I'm going to head over to the terminal. We are going to package these up, get ready to send them to the space gods. So first sealing up that package, then finally getting ready to throw it into the space elevator. And the guys up in orbit or in the station above will do whatever they need to, and then bestow upon us some new stuff to research and produce. By sending up that package full of goodies, we have unlocked new progression tiers in our Fix-It hub. So checking out the terminal, you can see we have access to a bunch of cool stuff like oil processing, industrial manufacturing. I mean, look at all this cool stuff. Oil extractor? I've never even seen an oil deposit that I know of. So it just goes to show I haven't even scratched the surface of all the things that we can find and create in this world. So what else do we have here? Manufacturer, that looks kind of like an assembler on steroids. Truck. Oh, look at this truck. This thing's awesome. I can't wait to build just a fleet of these. And then, well, gas mask next to the truck, that looks pretty boring. So alternative fluid transport, we can make like barrels full of oil and then water jugs. And then up to tier 6, what do we have here? Fuel generator, so like better fuel stuff. Oh, jetpack. Oh, yes. Oh my god, I can't wait for all this stuff. Monorail, we got electric locomotive, just train stuff. Oh my god, train station. This is gonna be so cool. Oh, this is awesome. I'm so excited for all this stuff. And we haven't even gotten to the next tier, which is gonna be space elevator phase 3. I don't actually know if we have access to that because obviously the game's still in development, so we're waiting to find out what we can make with all this stuff. But I mean, oh, jetpack, trains, trucks. It's gonna be so awesome. So thank you guys for watching this. Clearly we've got a lot of cool stuff to check out, and a lot more resources to find, components to manufacture, and then vehicles, trains. Oh god, get excited guys, because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. So thank you guys for watching this episode. I'll see you in the next one.